Welcome to Displore and thanks for watching. In this video we shall be taking a look at the top 10 strongest militaries in Africa. The Global Fire ranks countries in the world every year according to their military strength and firepower. In their ranking of African countries with military strength and firepower, up to 40 different tools and parameters like number of active frontline and active personnel, number of tanks and active fighting vehicles, aircrafts like fighter interceptors and helicopters, naval strength and coastal defense craft, resources and defense budget, logistics and many other factors. These criteria are used in such an approach that a small country with good military intelligence compete favorably with highly populated countries with lots of great foot soldiers. It is important to note that the military strength of a country is not only determined by the size of her ammunitions. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Without any further ado, here are the top 10 strongest militaries in Africa. Number 10. Libya. The Libyan National Army comprises of the ground forces, the air force and the navy. Despite having a relatively small number of active troops, the Libyan military makes up for this by having a large amount of equipment. There's not been peace and stability in the North African countries since the ouster of Muammar Gaddafi. The military has an impressive cache of equipment, which you'd obviously guess is from its oil dollars. The country is currently divided between a government in Tripoli and a rogue general, General Haftar, who enjoys the backing of Western powers such as the United States. The government is battling to keep the forces out of the city as it lacks a fully integrated force. Regardless, the country still has available 2,500 armored fighting vehicles, 500 tanks, 600 third artillery pieces, and 6,500 logistical vehicles. Libya currently has the 10th strongest military in Africa and the 77th in the world. Number 9. Angola. Angola is the 7th largest country in Africa with a population of over 21 million people and is located in South Central Africa. The Angolan armed force has 3 components: the army, the navy and the air force. The eggs from what the president calls the golden goose, which are the oil wells, have allowed Angola to form a large military budget. Angola currently has an active force of up to 100,000 troops. It has equipment such as 59 fighter aircrafts, 585 armored fighting vehicles, 56 attack aircrafts, 15 attack helicopters, 244 combat tanks, 115 rocket projectors, 538 armored fighting vehicles, 332 third artillery and 38 naval patrol crafts, just to mention a few. With a budget for defense at 4,150 million, Angola is sure to continue to see a strong military growth. Number 8. Tunisia. Tunisia is located in the northern part of Africa and has a population of over 11 million people. With an estimated defense budget of over $5 million, Tunisia, though a small country in terms of population compared to most countries on this list, has the 8th strongest military in Africa. The number of active frontline personnel stands at 40,000, with a traditional 12,000 active reserve personnel. The country boasts of 350 tanks, 900 armored fighting vehicles, 139 aircrafts, 75 helicopters, 12 interceptors and 25 coastal defense aircraft. Number 7. Morocco. The Kingdom of Morocco is located in the northern region of Africa with a population of over 33 million people. The country's military arm, known as the Royal Moroccan Army, is responsible for land-based military operations. Morocco also has the Navy, the Air Force, the Royal Guards, the Royal Gendamerie and the auxiliary forces. The force keeps increasing as King Mohammed VI recently made a call for the government to recruit 10,000 Moroccans into a compulsory military service. It is also speculated that this is set to increase to 15,000 by the year 2020. The Royal Army has an active force of 196,000 personnel with a defense force of over $3.4 billion. It has 291 aircrafts, 2,720 armored vehicles, 1,109 tanks and a navy with a fleet of 121 assets. Despite its large budget, funding partners such as the United States have reported that it remains plagued by corruption, an inefficient bureaucracy, and low levels of education in the ranks. The deployment of most of its forces in Western Sahara remains its biggest weakness to date. Number 6. Kenya. When it comes to military strength and firepower in Africa, Kenya is a strong force to reckon with. The country has enough military strength to afford to always send some on peacekeeping missions to other African countries. Almost 20 million people make up the country's manpower, and more than 12 million of these are fit for service. 839,000 reach military age every year. Kenya has 24,000 active frontline, 5,000 active personnel, and boasts of 186 tanks, 2,000 armored fighting vehicles, 134 total aircrafts, 66 helicopters, and 14 coastal defense craft. Kenya, which is one of the key players in East Africa, has a defense budget of over $5 billion. It currently ranks as the 6th strongest military in Africa. Number 5. Nigeria. Located in West Africa, Nigeria is home to over 200 million people. Nigeria is not only referred to as the giant of Africa because of its population or in terms of economic strength, it also has the 5th strongest military in Africa. The West African Army has been locked in battle with the Boko Haram insurgency for the better half of the decade. Like Algeria and Egypt, an abundant domestic oil supply eases the financial burden of involvement in military conflict. Nigeria has more than 1,800 armored fighting vehicles, 250 tanks and 6,000 logistical vehicles at its disposal, as well as nearly 300 aircrafts and 25 high-powered naval vessels. The naval power of the country lags behind compared to the rest of the African counterparts with maritime borders. Nigeria has a defense budget of over $2.3 billion and has the 5th strongest military in Africa. Number 4. South Africa. The Republic of South Africa is located at the tip of Southern Africa. South Africa is the 25th largest country in the world by area and the 24th most populated country in the world with over 55 million people. When it comes to military power, South Africa has got what it takes to be amongst the strongest countries in Africa. Half of South Africa's population is within the manpower class. The lack of conflict in South Africa has not prevented the country from having a whopping $4.6 billion defense budget. Its aircrafts and naval vessels are notoriously well equipped with the latest technology. And though the country has less than 100,000 active frontline personnel, it has the capacities and manpower for much more. South Africa has 191 tanks, 1,430 armored fighting vehicles, 118 self-propelled guns, 240 rocket projectors, and 213 total aircrafts. Add to that a vast array of land system technology, and the South African military is a force to reckon with. Number 3. Ethiopia. Ethiopia is Africa's oldest independent country and the second largest in terms of population. Ethiopia has found a way to transform her population into a military stronghold in Africa. Ethiopia is the only country without a maritime border in the top 5. The country has focused its resources on developing its army and air force to an impressive degree. Ethiopia has 560 tanks, 780 armored vehicles, 183 multi-launch rocket systems, and several helicopters. Ethiopia currently has an active force of 140,000 troops, with nearly 2 million people reaching military age annually. Number 2. Algeria. Just like its North African counterpart, Algeria has managed to use its large marine borders to its advantage. The country has managed to develop massive military capabilities on land, in air as well as in the water. It ranks at the 27th position in global ranking and the 2nd in Africa. Algeria's active frontline personnel numbers more than 130,000 troops. The country is experiencing turmoil after the long-time president stepped down, but the military has had a voice as instability and civil unrest persist. The army chief has voiced his concerns on the proposed delay to the elections, which may fuel further unrest. The Algerian army is the only entity able to oppose effective Islamic forces that almost took over the country after its independence. Number 1. Egypt. Egypt puts itself over the top when it comes to military strength due to the sheer size of its armed forces. The North African power ranks an impressive 12th in global ranking. The Egyptian Armed Forces consist of the Egyptian Army, Egyptian Navy, Egyptian Air Force, and the Egyptian Air Defense Command. Nearly 500,000 personnel serve on its active front line, far surpassing all its African counterparts. It has nearly 10,000 armored fighting vehicles, 60,000 logistical vehicles, 1,092 aircrafts, and large oil reserves from which to draw. What greatly sets it apart is its naval strength, which include traditional carriers as well as nuclear-powered submarines. In a constitutional referendum that was held in early 2019, proposed amendments give the army greater powers that activists say may lead to interventions in civilian matters. There you have it, Displorers. Those were the top 10 strongest militaries in Africa. It's not cheap to maintain a standing army, and it's a general rule that military strength goes with economic power. This is the reason most countries with economic strength are amongst the countries with strongest military in Africa. Thanks for watching this video. If you want us to cover any of your top 10 topics, leave a comment in the comment section below. And do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends.